Hey everyone, Mike Gian here with another video. I'm going to keep this one pretty short and sweet. I did something similar the last time I tried to get this YouTube channel off the ground, where we essentially looked at some Trackman numbers. It's a little different this time. What I essentially did is Good to Great Golf. Shout out to them. They hosted a tournament for the Open Championship, which is my favorite week. And essentially you could come in anytime during the week of the Open, and what they would do is have Royal Portrush available on the sim, and you could go on there and play 18 holes, in a tournament format. So that's what I did. I went in, didn't film it. I wasn't quite sure what the atmosphere was going to be like, if it was going to be loud or if it was going to be able to do. I didn't want to. He's got 6 bays there, which is awesome. As it turned out, I was by myself, but I didn't record anything. But essentially what I'm using this video for is to kind of set the tone of what my goals are going to be going forward, and what you can expect from the content standpoint going forward. So I'm going to show you a few things. Unfortunately, I wanted to get it on the desktop and go through it there, but it's only the Trackman app that actually had the shot-by-shot. And a lot of the metrics that you would normally have from Trackman aren't available with this one. But there were 3 key things that I found that really kind of caught my attention and let me know what I need to do. I'm going to put them up on the screen right here. First one was on the 7th hole is where I had my best driver of the day. And it was a par 5, and you can see here, ended up going 220 yards in the fairway, which at 95 mile an hour swing speed, is actually pretty poor. You can tell if you look at some of the numbers there, they're not terrible, but 94 miles an hour for a club for somebody that's at my age, just turned 40 a few months ago, that's just not going to get it done. And so 95 miles an hour is something I can definitely improve on. Also, with pretty much every drive I hit, or almost every shot I hit, with the Trackman there, they actually showed, I wish I'd taken a picture of it, but they essentially showed what your club looked like at impact. And almost every single one, the club was kind of leaning back like I was scooping it, which has been a problem of mine my entire career, especially after I came back from my knee injury. Essentially, clubs, body stops moving, clubs got all that momentum, and, you got to get the club to the face, you got to get the club to the ball somehow, right? So ultimately, it usually led to me kind of scooping it, and that was bad for short shots. I try to avoid that, but when you're trying to swing it as hard as you can, that's something that I definitely have to work on, and I'm working on it. And we'll get to a little more of what's been going on this year that's different from last time we tried this. The second one is my 6-iron. So I made 1 birdie the entire tournament. I played awful the entire tournament. Hardly found a fairway, and the rough, the hills and everything, it played true. Even though you're hitting everything off a flat lie, on the sim, it was like you were hitting off of an upslope or downslope or what have you. So the 3rd hole, I'm going to put the screenshot right here. I had a 6-iron that went 159 yards total. Which is about, back in my playing days, that was usually about my 180 to 185 club, and just under 80 miles an hour. And once again, just 221 off the tee. If that's a good drive, I'm gonna playing golf courses where you play like the Arizona Open they just hosted. That golf course is 7,400 yards. If I'm going to be laying up on par 4s, if I don't get more distance out there to be able to at least have a chance to come in with a even if it's a long iron or a hybrid, that's still better than having to lay up. So distance is a huge concern of mine right now. If you saw my golf swing in real life, and you will as I start putting out videos of me playing, whether it's matches or just out for fun or challenging myself somehow, you'll see that not a lot of width, not a lot of turn. It's just almost kind of like slapping it, almost like John Rahm without all the torque and the power through, and obviously a lot fatter. Not gonna skimp over that either. So there's that one. So needed to gain some yardage with the irons, and then the last one was on hole 15. Once again, what's interesting here is that pretty much every full swing from 9 iron. I don't have all the data, but what I found was all of my swing speeds were pretty tightly knit. So there's not a lot of difference. Pretty much 90 is like my cap, and no matter how hard I'm swinging, my 2-wood is only 17 degrees. My driver is 9 degrees. There's, the incremental steps between there. But looking at this here, 86.7 miles per hour with it says 2 hybrid. It's like a 17. It's like a 4-wood. But I just put it in as a 2 hybrid. Just once again, a lot of dynamic loft added and spin loft. I mean, that's just that face, just that club getting, basically scooping the ball at impact. Because at the time, it's hard to rotate through what I have going on the right side. So those are the 3 metrics that I wanted to share. So ultimately, over the course of not quite a year, but as we start getting into tournament open season, trying to qualify for some of these tournaments, here are the ultimate goals. Number 1, I want to see if I can get to at least tour average with all my clubs. I think driver tour average is 115 miles an hour. That's going to be higher than I think what I got to in my playing days. I think, I wish I had the data from back in '08 over at the Cleveland Golf Fitting Studio, but I want to say I was about 108 miles an hour. Even getting back to that would be good, but obviously with a little more strength training, with a little more mobility training, that's big now, especially at my age. I can get to that 112 to 115. But anything where, honestly, if I can just get it to go 280 with roll, I feel like because of my abilities as a ball striker, that at least gives me a chance where I can get like a hybrid on it and maybe hit the center of the green, but also hit it far enough to where I have wedges in my hands on par 5s, and that's where I feel like I can be the most effective. And then number 2 is really just shedding the weight, and they all kind of tie in together. But being ready for qualifiers, starting with the U.S. Open qualifier, which is usually around my birthday here in Arizona, usually within the first or second week of May. So that'll be the ultimate goal, is to feel ready and to be ready, and ultimately just take a shot. Obviously, if I feel like I'm going to be one of those scorers where, I'm going to shoot 90 and then have to prove that I'm tournament worthy, as the USA does, for good reason. Like, nobody wants to be stuck out there with somebody that thinks they're a pro and shoots 100, right? Like, I've been in those situations in PATs. I've seen it. It's not fun. I kind of was that in my last Pepsi Tour event. Nobody wants to be around that shit. So we're going to work on that. So to do that, there are going to be a lot of matches that I plan on playing in, whether it's team or individual, just something to continue to keep those juices flowing. Anything I can do to, whether it's playing heads up, even if it's just like, a couple bucks a hole, or $5 Nassau's or skins, just whatever I can do to get myself uncomfortable and see if I can handle the pressure and execute under that pressure. So that's it for this video. Just wanted to give you a quick update. I think they'll also be adding some weigh-ins, monthly weigh-ins, just to keep myself honest. Nobody likes to scale, especially after I've had to do this so many times. I think this will be weight loss journey number 4, which really hurts, but at the same time, I put myself in this position. Got to work my way out of it. I will say this last month, what has been different is I am in the gym. I'm at least starting to get do some free weights, getting that up there, walking on the golf course as much as possible. It's a big frame. Like, I'm almost scared. That's one of the reasons why I'm scared to know what my weight is, because the more I weigh, the more I know I'm going to have to lose. But ultimately, get in the weight room, at least get stronger, get the metabolism going. I do feel like food cravings are getting better. I don't feel like I have to keep eating just to keep just to kind of satisfy the beast. Like with a nice workout and a protein shake, I usually feel pretty good afterwards and don't feel the need to indulge later on during the day. So that's it. As always, please like and subscribe. I think this is going to be a fun journey. I'm really excited. I've reached out to people in the Tucson community that may want to get involved with the channel, whether it's through matches, or just helping out, on the other side with the camera. So look out for more consistent content. Thank you as always for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.